humble opinion, and there's nothing humble about me, Bitcoin will go to fucking zero. And, as I said, you know who's behind Bitcoin?
In the year 2028, one Big Mac will equal $1 million. From the Gospel of John McAfee. Bro, just learn to code. The Project Freedom Podcast.
Boom. What is up, everyone? All right. Let's talk about the internet. And by the way, guys, as you guys can probably see, you know what? Let me actually can you guys hear me now? As you all can probably see, we missing some equipment over here. The mic and some lights are over at the boys' house because I am going to be taking a road trip Friday. It was supposed to be tomorrow, but Friday is when I'm taking said road trip. Tomorrow, I will be streaming on Yin's channel with Andrew from Legal Mindset and MLD. So go over to his channel, guys, and watch me and them tomorrow. We're thinking about we started a panel, and we're thinking about calling the name Redacted. All right, so let me know how you guys think about Redacted. Those wireless Rode mics are my dream. Does it sound all right, Christian? Did it sound all right when I put on my shirt? How about that? Let's just do that. Let's use this thing the way that's supposed to. All right. You guys heard that? So, without wasting any more time, let's talk about the internet, guys. Is the internet, or rather, is access to the internet, is that a human right? Because I don't know. I'm asking you guys. Is it a human right? I'm going to try to figure that out tonight, discuss it with you guys, and tell you guys my thoughts about it. And also, I guess the second question would be, is access to the internet freedom of speech? Because in the past, we've seen things that have indicated that it is. We've also seen things that have indicated that it is not. All right. So first and foremost, friends, I present to you some news over yonder from ARS Technia. And as you guys can see, Ukraine asked ICANN to revoke Russia's domains and shut down the DNS root servers over there in Russia. So basically, what they're trying to do, guys, is they're trying to rug pull the internet away from Russia. Okay. And if you guys look at the one sentence excerpt here, it says, and this is true, this is something to think about. Cutting DNS links would harm Russian people, but have little impact on government. Right? I mean, can anyone disagree with that? Now, let me make my point as to why this excerpt right here is true and why it's going to harm people and not the government anywhere near as much. Do you think the Russian government does not have access to satellite? Because they do. They're not anywhere near as powerful as they were, decades ago, but they're still a multi-trillion-dollar government. They have satellites, guys, okay? They have satellites and they have their own communication systems. Believe you me. Also, the Russian government has their own intranet, okay? Okay. You might say this. You might say,
How do you know the Russian government has their own intranet?
All right. I can't listen, you fucks. Listen. I can't prove that the Russian government has their own intranet, okay? But as someone myself who has worked for the government in several different instances, okay? The United States government has their own intranet. Many companies have their own intranet. So without getting into the reasons why having an intranet is important, especially for like a government, like if you're sending and receiving
top secret information,
then you could assume that if you can afford it, which yes they can, that they would have their own intranet. Okay. Spark 55 says just as sanctions on Russia hurt Western people, or Western and Russian people, not the fucking elite. Yeah. Spark 55, thank you very much, because that is literally one of the points that I'm going to go over. Literally, you're correct. Having an intranet is common sense, as Wade or what, Mr. Perez Jr. Yes, it is. Did Sam's first comment disappear? No, I see it. It's right here. I see it right here, my friend. But yes, having an intranet is common sense, and in a world full of little common sense, you would think at the very least the Russian government might have some common sense, but that may or may not be undecided yet. So yeah, this excerpt, cutting DNS links would harm Russian people, but have little impact on government. Yes, guys. Yes, it would. Now, let me tell you why. So when we saw all those sanctions and stuff happen to SWIFT and all the other financial sanctions, et cetera, and just general like dampening of let's just call it movement of finances in Russia, the ability to move money. One of the first things the banks did, okay, over there in Russia, is they prevented people from pulling their money out of the bank. All right. Now there's reasons for that, obviously, because they don't want the banks. They need your money. Okay, guys, banks need your money. All right. We'll put it to you that way. So if the banks have no money, everyone pulls it out. Well, bada boom, bada bing. Okay. So people are unable to take their funds and maybe trade them for something else that's more valuable. And why do they want to trade them for something else that's more valuable? Oh, that's because literally when this happened, the Russian currency, the ruble, lost 60% of its value like that. Right? Like literally overnight. So of course, what people are going to want to do, like, let's just say, like, let's put it to you like this, guys. You have a family and you're 45 years old. You're 55 years old, all right? And throughout the entirety of your 55 years of life, maybe not the first 10 or 15, the entirety of your life, you've worked very hard and you've saved as much money as you possibly could. And you stored that money in a bank, and you wanted to use this to pay for your kids' college and to retire on. But oh, what's that? Two governments get into war with each other, and all of a sudden, the value of the money that you saved in the bank gets cut in half, 60% in one night. Well, that's pretty fucked, right? That's pretty fucked. This is why you buy Bitcoin, guys. But anyway, we're not here to talk about Bitcoin tonight. Now, those people, right, the people that were doing this, the people that this affected were just regular people. It didn't affect the fucking Russian government. The Russian government has an enormous amount of gold on their balance sheet. People who follow me on Instagram at @elifbergram, you guys saw a story I posted 2 days ago where the amount of gold that the Russian central banks have on their balance sheet has been going parabolic, meaning they've been increasing it by let's just say a very large amount over the last, since about 2008, right? Some people, you guys probably know why since about 2008, but so they still have money. Okay. The Russian government and the Russian central banks, like, they own assets. Okay. Yes, they own their own currency, but that's not where their wealth is stored. It's stored inside of assets, real estate, yachts. Oh, and speaking of yachts, they're out there confiscating yachts from people now, apparently in Russia. So that inhibition of allowing them people, regular people, are just putting sanctions on Russia in general for their finances that hurt the average person, the average Russian citizen, way more than it hurt the Russian government, which is why this similarly will do the same thing. It's going to harm the people more so. And I told you guys, the Russian government, they have ways of communicate, okay, without being disconnected or with being disconnected from ICANN, okay? And what does this thing say? A Ukrainian government official on Monday asked the nonprofit group that oversees the internet domain name system to shut down the DNS root servers in Russia and revoke Russian domains such as .ru, .p, whatever, however you pronounce that in Russian, and .su. The letter to ICANN, which is, by the way, guys, the Internet Corporation for Assigned Names and Numbers, was posted here. So if you want to look at that, you guys can, but I'm not going to open that. And ICANN has confirmed that it received the letter. Several internet experts say that that granting Ukraine's request would be a bad idea. Executive Director Bill Woodcock of Packet Clearinghouse, an international nonprofit that provides operational support and security to the internet exchange points and the core of the domain name system, wrote a Twitter thread calling it, and I quote, a heck of an ask on the part of Ukraine. As a critical infrastructure operator, my inclination is to say, heck no, regardless of my sympathies. Now, you have a guy here who's very important in regards to the internet, okay, the World Wide Web, literally, not just like some dude who is like an engineer at Comcast, right? Who says himself, regardless of how I feel, regardless of his sympathies, regardless of how he feels about the situation, doing that is not smart, right? It's not smart. Spark 55 says sanctions on Russia could also hurt people in the West, especially with an already unstable Western economics. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Spark, go back to my channel. Let's see. So we can find this real quick. Let's see if I can find this one. Now, this one might have been, it's mislabeled because you're not going to know what it's actually about by knowing the title or looking at the title. This video right here, let's see. The one titled Abracadabra, it's all just magic. Watch this one right here. And yes, you will see that I 100% agree with you, my friend, that I 100% agree with you. And perhaps, guys, perhaps removing internet from Russia could also affect the West too. Some of the leaders don't really think before they go ahead and act. But hey, and real quick, just to make a point on that, Spark. So you're a crypto dude, right? I'll use a really easy analogy. Everyone knows, everyone that's in crypto, all right, as long as you're not just like, you know, the level 0 number go up, just buy crypto because number go up, Shiba Inu people, then you know a little bit about the basics of blockchain technology. Specifically, we can talk about the Bitcoin network because it's the first and the largest, right? There's what? There's nodes and validators, and there's miners. So there's all these machineries all around the world, decentralized, right? And that's what makes the protocol so strong and valuable, right? Nodes, okay? Nodes. Basically the separation and spreading of powers. Not only does it have benefits in the fact that it's decentralized, but it also means that more people are using said system, okay? A miner, someone who's mining Bitcoin or validating Bitcoin, they're not like running a node. They're not gonna just run a node because they just clicked on software to download, right? They're not just gonna also like, a miner is not gonna receive the Bitcoin block rewards and receive 6.25 Bitcoin and just like, I don't know how to use this. I'm just gonna, I'm not gonna sell it. I'm not gonna do anything with it. I don't even know it exists, right? I mean, they might, right now they're not selling it because they know number gon' go up. Number gon' go up soon. But the fact that there's nodes means more people are using this thing, okay? So that's a point right there that I just want to make real quick. before I use the analogy. So Swift, okay? We can actually think of Swift, you guys, as a non-decentralized network because it is, right? Now, it might not have fancy algorithms, okay? It might not be bound by software. In fact, if you guys know anything about Swift, Swift is just literally it's a messaging system, okay? It's a messaging system. Banks like instant message, like, hey, I want to send you $200 from this bank, from this account. And the other bank says, I'm receiving a message. I will accept these $200 you're giving me, okay? It's a network, okay? And if you have this network, let's just say all of a sudden you decide that you're going to chop off a quarter of the people using this network, like they did with Russia. That's less people using the fucking dollar. So therefore, it's it's financial suicide. It's suicide. It's harming the dollar. That would be, and I know this is getting long-winded, guys, but hear me out. That would be the equivalent of removing a quarter of all the nodes in the Bitcoin network. Okay? It would, like, no one would ever just do that. No one that's using Bitcoin, none of the people that are in charge of the mining, the validation, regulating it, they're not just going to be like, hey, let's just like disconnect a quarter of the nodes in the network. Let's just make ourselves less strong. Let's just make less people, a quarter of the people using this thing. Let's just make them not use it. So that, Spark 55, that is why. Mr. Perez says the goal is to hope the lack of internet will cause people to riot against government. Yeah, that's what they want to do. That is what they want to do. They want the Russian people to be mad at their own government. Due to a certain money printer, yes, sir, we should cut off the USA internet. Things would improve overnight for everyone. Yeah, that's the sad part, is if we removed Russia from the internet, things probably wouldn't like change for us so much immediately, but in the United States, things would probably get better overnight. We could use a healthy dose of no internet over here. So, and this was sent days after the Russian invasion of Ukraine began. The letter said that Russia's atrocious crimes have been made possible mainly due to the Russian propaganda machinery using websites continuously spreading disinformation. Well, I mean, beauty is in the eye of the beholder, right? Do you guys think that there's no other governments out there spreading disinformation? Oh, definitely, of course not. It couldn't be the United States government or any of the governments in the United Nations. Definitely not, right? Wink, 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 guys. Ukrainian IT infrastructure has undergone numerous attacks from Russian side, impeding citizens and government's ability to communicate. Well, we know that's true. The letter asked ICANN, which is based in California, believe it or not, to, and I quote, revoke permanently or temporarily. I like how, like, they give them the option. Can you revoke could you revoke their internet either permanently or temporarily? Either permanently or temporarily, guys. I mean, it's really up to you guys, right? Just, remove them forever and or just do it temporarily. It's really no big difference. And then it lists the Russian domains. And the list is not exhaustive and may also include other domains issued in the Russian Federation. Next, the letter asked ICANN to, and I quote, contribute to the revoking for SSL certificates for the above mentioned domains and to, and I quote, shut down DNS servers in St. Petersburg, Moscow. Wait, so I want to know what domains did they ask to revoke the SSL certificates for? Jesus, dude. Hey, could you not only just remove them from the internet, this part of the internet, but could you also bring the security of their websites down too, so we could hack them and finagle with them? A big duh. ICANN has previously explained that, quote, or as I quote, root servers respond to DNS lookup requests made by the DNS resolvers generally operated by internet service providers. So, yes, and this is true. There's numerous internet service providers. Believe it or not, it's not just Comcast. The letter was sent by Ukraine's vice prime minister and the minister of digital transformation. Digital transformation, what kind of minister? There's a minister of digital transformation, guys. Do we have one of those? Spark 55 says, both sides have put out propaganda not to mention the Western ones. You don't say, my friend. You don't say. I would have to agree with you, my friend. I would have to agree with you. So, as mentioned, cutoffs will make sites unreachable and reduce security, right? It is very likely that ICANN will just say no. Good. They should. They should. You guys know why. They should. Ukrainian proposal debated in ICANN email list. The complete opposite of what we need. It looks like we haven't blocked the domains. We're asking people to move. There are plenty of other choices out there when it comes to infrastructure services. So it's not isn't deplatforming. The complete opposite of what we need, et cetera, et cetera. So guys, like, yeah, is that a smart thing to do? And now why would it also, let's just say it is a smart, let's just say it's like tactically smart. Let's just say it's not going to do the equivalent of what I believe is not completely finished by the sanctions over in Russia already, the financial sanctions. Let's say it doesn't do damage to just the people and then also damage to us over here who are under the rule of the governments who are the ones making those sanctions. Let's just say it doesn't. Why? Why do I believe? I believe, this is a belief. So at the beginning of the stream, I told you guys, I don't know whether or not the internet is a human right, but I do believe that the internet is a human right. And I do believe that access to the internet is a human right. I don't believe, let me make this extra clear. I don't believe, okay, that every person should just get free internet. You understand what I'm saying? So, for example, guys, if I work very, 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 very hard for a very, very, very long time, I pay my bills on time, I put good out into the world and into the universe, and I just accomplish something generally great for all parties involved, including myself, and I saved up some money. And I want to go buy a Lamborghini. If I'm paying for it, if it's not negatively impacting anybody, should I have to like ask permission to buy the Lamborghini? No, it exists. It's a luxury. So much like the internet, I believe it is a luxury. However, if you can afford it and you work for it, you should not be allowed, people should not be allowed to tell you you can't access that, okay? Now here's what makes the internet and a Lamborghini a little different. A little bit different. And let's take a look here, friends. And this is an article way back from 2016, all right? The title is, "The Internet Has a Human Right," by Catherine Howe and Daryl M. West, Monday, November 7th, 2016. Now, this is funny, all right? And we're going to see why this is funny, okay? So this summer, guys, the United Nations, what you guys think about that? United Nations. The United Nations in that summer declared that it considers the internet to be a human right. First sentence, I could just end reading this article right there. I mean, I think you guys understand why, right? Need I say more? But you know what? Let's say more. Let's say more. Specifically, an addition was made to Article 19 of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, known as UDHR, which states everyone has the right to freedom of opinion and expression. This right includes freedom to hold opinions without interference and to seek, receive, and impart information and ideas through any media, regardless of frontiers. The UN said that. 2016. Need I say more, gentlemen? Need I say more? Now, it's funny. It's funny to me because, as you guys saw in this article, who was asking ICANN to revoke Russian domains? Ukraine. You know what Ukraine was also asking for? To join the United Nations. I wonder. Let me put 2 plus 2. 2 plus 2 is 4, guys. 2 plus 2 is 4. 4 times 4. Wait a second here. Wait a second. Mr. Perez says, I'm pretty sure water, as human rights, hasn't changed and been signed into law yet. Kind of makes you think. What about booty water as a human right? I'd vote for it. Christian Soto says schools already give out hotspots and libraries give you free access to internet. Yeah, I mean, you can go to like any local McDonald's too, or any like local coffee shop or whatever, right? But back to what I was saying. So here's the reason that makes a Lamborghini and the internet different. Lamborghinis, they aren't used as a vessel or a vehicle, okay, to seek information. Okay? So if I remove someone's ability to purchase a Lamborghini, that's not me removing their ability to be self-informed, which is, I believe, a human right. And if anyone thinks otherwise, well, you might have something in common with the people that were rounding people up and putting them in gas chambers in World War II. Christian Soto says the local McDonald's stopped the free Wi-Fi and covered their plugs LMAO. Probably because they're losing money on it, man. In all honesty. Ours hasn't. You can still come here, though. You can still come here. So, friends, like we've discussed in previous streams, specifically that one that I pointed out to earlier in this stream, the book, The Sovereign Individual. Access to the internet now, 2022, and before too, but in this modern time, in the information age, because make no mistake, friends, we are in the information age right now, which is why you should learn to code, which is why you should learn to be sovereign, which is why you should learn to be financially sovereign, which is why you should learn to be sovereign in every way, single shape, and form, and buy a Ford Bronco. But don't take my word for it. Ford Broncos, they're not that cool, right? Wink, wink. Modern day internet access is the equivalent to our ancestors telling stories about Greek gods like Zeus, et cetera, being able to observe things from a far distance, send and receive information at the speed of light, and travel instantaneously. So basically, guys, if you were to go back in time to our ancestors and gave them the internet, they would look at you like a literal god. Literally. Now, we all take it for granted because we were all born with it, right? Technically, I was born in 1991, so, I didn't really have the real internet. The internet was more real back then than it is today. Matt W. probably knows exactly what I'm talking about that, which he says, all I need is freedom. F-U-C-K the Lambos and luxuries. Matt, let me clap. Let me clap for that. Yes, who needs a Lambo? Just get a Ford Bronco, bro. Just get a Ford Bronco. So if humans have the internet, if some humans have the access to the internet, and you prevent others from allowing that, and again, back to the beginning of the stream, not saying it has to be free for everybody. I disagree with that. Nothing should be free, especially for people who don't work hard for it. But if you just prevent people who are able to afford the internet or afford a device to connect to the internet, let's just say one country, and you allow everyone else to do it, well, then you're literally allowing one set of humanity to have godlike powers and another to not. Should a small subset of people be able to dictate that? No, I don't think so. EatLiveProgram.com, JustBeConfidentBro.com, DeveloperDirection.com, GuavaLabs.io, and that is it, fellas. I'm out. See ya.